huge thanks to Cricut for supplying some of the materials that were used in this project.
Hi, it's Nancy at Nally Studios. Welcome to my studio. Today I'm here to show you some tips with the Cricut Design Space slice tool that made this t-shirt a lot easier.
So to start, I've got this rainbow wave design on my canvas, and you can see here on the ends, the alignment is very specific for this design. If you don't get it lined up right, it's not going to look right, and the alignment changes across the width of the design, making it extra difficult to line up properly when you go to do your iron-on. But I'm going to show you a trick with the slice tool to deal with that, so let's get started. We're going to make a template, so the first thing we're going to do is head over to our shape tool, and we're going to select the square and just drop that square right on there, and then start lining it up so that it covers. We have to unlock it, and then adjust the size and alignment so that it covers the wave that we're trying to make a template for, the rainbow. And then I'm going to drag it to the bottom, or drag the rainbow here to the top. It's probably easier. There we go. So that we can see it. Now it's all nice and lined up. And now we're going to start using that slice tool to make our template. So we're going to first ungroup all of the rainbow pieces, because you can't use the slice tool if they're all grouped. So now I can highlight the first piece that I want to work with on the rainbow. So it's the red wave. And then I highlight the black background piece that I made and hit slice. So now what I've got is a slice result that's part of the black background that I'm going to highlight and hide to make sure it's the right piece, and just trash it using my trash button. And now I've got left the red one, and I can go repeat that for all of my colors, and it will make my template by cutting the outline of each of the pieces into my black background. And I can just dispose of the extra black pieces that the template creates. And then when I am done, I can group all of my rainbow pieces back together and regroup them so that they can be moved around again as a group, just like before. And there we go. They are all back just like they were. And now I have this handy dandy template outline that I can use to line up my pieces when I do my iron-on. And because I'm going to change that color to pink, because part of my design is going to be black later, and this way it won't try to cut it out of the same color when I do my black vinyl cut. So that's how you use the slice tool very quickly and easily to make a template for your iron-on. I recommend cutting your template out of something stiff like cereal box or something like that. Mine was too flimsy and I had alignment problems with it. Now I think we're going to hide this template from view for a few minutes while we work on our next trick with the slice tool, which is working with text and how it can make our life easier there. So now we've got to put our lettering on our design, and this wave presents quite the challenge for doing lettering on. But let's get started. Let's get that text tool out. And we're going to just start with one of the words. We'll do the middle one, is, and increase the size to the size that I want. And drag it up into position here. And normally, if I was doing text that I wanted curved, I would use my curves tool. And you can see, though, when you try it, what the challenge is here is that it wants to make the curve symmetrical. And this curve here is undulating and it's not symmetrical. So we have to get a little bit more creative and going to have to do it by hand, basically. So first I'm going to kind of start dragging this in position and rotate it and work it into the position that I want as best as I can. And just keep tweaking it and judge it by my eye instead of using a tool to do it automatically. Yeah, I think that looks good there. And then, yeah, okay. So obviously these script fonts are designed to be put together, contacting each other. So I need to hit ungroup. That is going to allow me to move each individual letter. Now at this point, I can't change those letters, so don't do that until you're really ready to do your words. When I move those letters together, though, you can see I've got a problem. As I get that I and that S close together, if you look closely in the middle, you can see that little tail on that I is kind of hanging in the middle of nowhere there, and it doesn't look quite right, at least not to my eye. So I need to adjust it so that it looks right. And I'm going to go back to my handy dandy little square shape again, change the color so it's orange so I can see it easily, and make it super, super tiny. And tall and skinny. So it's a good shape to work with. Then I'm going to work it in here and rotate it to kind of align it and put it right where the S and that tail on the I meet, where it comes out from underneath the S. And then I'm going to go hide the S to get it out of the way now that the alignment is done. And I bet you know what I'm going to do next. If you've been watching this far, I'm going to highlight that orange square and I'm going to highlight the I and use that slice tool. And now I've got to start getting rid of all of my extra pieces by hiding them. And now if I bring back my S, it has a much shorter tail on it, and I can tweak the alignment and make it exactly how I want it now that it's easier to see exactly, and get it just right so it looks beautiful. And then highlight the S. Oops. I won't tweak that anymore. Okay. Highlight, highlight, and now we're going to weld. There we go. Now it's one big beautiful piece that you can move around and adjust. And you can trash all the other pieces and then do the same for the other words in the script and cut. And then we'll be ready to move on to ironing.
All right, now I'm going to show you how to use the template that we made to help lay out our iron on. So here's the template. I've made some marks on it to show my center and what my measurement is from the bottom of my collar so I can get it positioned how I want it on my shirt. And I've laid my pieces out on my mat just because it's a thing I can peel up from in the order that they go on. So here's my red. And I'm going to take my template and I'm going to align them, and I'm going to try to align that straight. Now I'm going to check my measurement and see if I got it anywhere close. Okay, so it's way too high. It needs to go down about 3/4 of an inch. Now I will check it again, and that's close enough. It's a little lower than I wanted, but that'll work. So now I can set the template aside and do my ironing. Okay, now that the first one is done, we can just build off that to do the rest with the template. Here's the template. And my second piece, the orange, just peel up. Align it with the second row. And align and there it is, the finished rainbow shirt. Here's another look at the finished project. If you'd like to make your own, the supply list and links to the files I used are in the show notes. Thanks for watching. Bye.